won his first career PBA title at the PBA Wolf Open. The question is, can he follow that up with a championship in the PBA Bear Open? We find out if he can go back to back. The great bowling city of Milwaukee has hosted the PBA Tour more than 30 times, going all the way back to 1966. And we bring you the PBA Tour on CBS Sports Network for the first time this summer. Valera Lanes hosted the Geico Summer Swing. Part of that, the Lucas Oil Bear Open. 5 of the world's best bowlers competing for a PBA title. We're using a 5-bowler stepladder bracket. Tom Hess opens up against Canadian star Dan McClellan. Chris Loschetter can make it 2 straight tournament wins after getting his first career victory last time out. 2 big names, top of the stepladder bracket, 14-time winner Chris Barnes, and leading candidate for Player of the Year honors, the top seed Jason Belmonte of Australia. The first 2 competitors joined laneside by my Hall of Fame broadcast partner, Randy Peterson.
And joining me, Tom Hess and Dan McClellan. And Tom, I'll start with you. Tom had the only perfect game of this event. Tom, how do you go about getting back on the strike train on this demanding bear oil pattern?
Well, Randy, I'm going to have to get through the first couple of matches because when I got a lot of my pins was late in the block. When I got left, was able to use my speed, throw it hard, and just let the lane take the ball into the pocket for me.
Tom, thanks very much. Tom Hess, a major championship winner. This young man right here looking for his first ever career title on the PBA Tour. Dan, you had mentioned earlier that the bear pattern played very similar to a U.S. Open pattern. How is that?
Well, you know, you got to make good quality shots, make your spares. If you're not, you're going to get in trouble real quick.
All right, so I need a prediction from you. Winning score every match, what's it going to take?
220 or better.
220 or better?
Yes.
All right, Dan, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Bear Open oil pattern, Randy. 40 feet. Demanding test of the bowler skill. And we should see a low-scoring pace. Several different lane patterns we're seeing here at the Geico Summer Swing in Milwaukee. Already, Chris Loschetter, we talked about, Jake Peters are first-time winners. Maybe another first-time winner in this event.
The number 4 player owns 1 PBA regional title, the 2011 Canadian national champion from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, the man, Dan McClellan.
Originally from Windsor, Ontario, right across the river from Detroit. A huge Red Wings fan growing up. All-time favorite, of course, Steve Yzerman, captain. Underway through the nose.
3-6.
And a 3-6 standing for Dan.
Well, I always talk about how talented Dan McClellan is on television, and I always bury him. I give him the Bo Burton kiss of death every single time. He hasn't won a match on television yet, and it's because of me.
It's your fault.
So now I'm just going to sit back and watch him bowl, and I'm just not going to say anything about him.
He's 0-5 in his career on TV to date.
The number 5 seed is the 2011 USBC Masters champion with 7 PBA regional titles from Urbandale, Iowa, Tom Hess.
That's just outside Des Moines, although he is a Hawkeye fan, as he tells us, not a Cyclone fan. His son graduated from high school this week, is headed to Iowa State.
And what a performance Tom Hess put on the last 3 games of match play in this event just to make it to the telecast today.
Good shot.
He shoots 300 the 6th game, the only 300 of the event, and then he shoots 268 in position round to make the show. Absolute beast mode. 2011
Bear USBC Masters title in Reno, a major. His only 2 TV appearances, wins on Route 2. Huge victory. There's the 10-pin.
Take a look at the unique release of Tom Hess and why he's so successful on this U.S. Open oil pattern. Tom gets on the side of the ball a little bit sooner than most, a lot like Pete Weber. Watch this release and watch what it does to the rotation of the bowling ball, and that helps Tom get the ball through the front part of the lane. But you heard in his interview that he has to survive the first couple games because he got all of his pins late when the lanes broke down. Now trying to get past Dan McClellan and move on.
No. Way high and a huge challenging spare here.
And it doesn't take much to have this happen to you on this demanding flat 40-foot oil pattern, 3-6, 7-10. He's going to try to get the ball over into here and throw this 3-pin into the 7. The ball will take out the 6-10.
It's got a shot. Nope.
Late trip to the 7. How about it? It did have a shot. Halfway down lane, he thought maybe. Then he said no. Then he said, oh, yeah. What a conversion.
Well, he got a nice break here. And watch the 3-pin. It's going to go behind the 7 and come right back out of the pit. The bottom of the pin kicks the 7 out. Nice break.
You ever make that one on TV? That's a tough
I don't know.
Dan the man, all 10 down in the pit.
And in talking with the players about this particular bare oil pattern, they all said the same thing in crossing the center, going from one side of the house to the other. All of the adjustments that needed to be made, throwing it straight, hooking it, going to a different ball, not hesitating and making the moves with conviction. It was all about playing all over the lane and being versatile.
Yeah, 60 fate to success for Dan McClellan. Perfect shot, crunches the 1-3 pocket. And yes, in case you're wondering in the background there, Terrell Owens, NFL great, is here on hand. Owner of the Dallas Strikers PBA team. Sitting next to PBA Commissioner Tom Clark. There's Terrell. Made a guest appearance as an analyst and one of our broadcasts here at the Geico Summer Swing. Big bowling fan. Answer for Tom Hess.
It's a good shot and a nice break, trip in the 4. But Tom has to be careful early on because of the side rotation. You can see right there, his ball has a tendency to break loose as it comes off the end of the pattern. That's not good when they're fresh. When they break down and he has to move in, much better. Arsenal, mean streak brawler. Kind of what you would think Tom Hess would be if you caught him in a dark alley.
Ten stands. You're saying he's a pretty tough guy.
Well, he's a big man, and he's an extremely strong guy.
Come on, man.
But
Come on.
he's an incredibly nice guy as well. I don't think you have to worry about that too much with Tom. Just a little inside of target again, and when you're bowling on a flat pattern, and what I mean by flat is there's no buildup out, or excuse me, in the middle part of the lane to hold the ball on line, and no extra friction outside like we saw, say, in the Wolf oil pattern where they're extremely dry, short, and a lot of dry to the outside. You're not going to have that on this pattern.
Tom wearing the TR patch, tribute to the late Tony Ress. So many bowlers honoring Tony, taken so tragically from the bowling world last September.
Really good shot. Anything that hits the pocket on this oil pattern is going to be good. Let's take a look at Dan McClellan's form here. Or excuse me, this shot. Really good, nice and straight. Very versatile guy. He can hook the entire lane or throw it straight. Keeps his hand up the back, leaving that shaker 10-pin. Now let's take a look at his form. This is the modern power game right here. Get the ball in the swing early, and then I want you to look at this right here. You can see how vertical that swing is, and then he's going to get it down to the bottom and load up and just uncup that wrist and that bowling ball into the floor, kind of like throwing a yo-yo off the end of your hand.
Good look at that arm swing again.
Come on.
2-pin stands here for Dan.
And again, anytime you miss the pocket and you come away with a single pin staring back at you, an easy spare conversion, obviously, that's what you're looking for as you see his Arsenal 714C.
Picks up the spare, the 2011 Canadian National Champion and 06 Canadian Bowler of the Year. Dan's getting married in a couple of weeks, fiancée Christy. And Dan will tie the knot. Heading to Miami for a week and then the Western Caribbean for a cruise. A lot of big events happening with our bowlers here at the Geico Summer Swing.
Dan never told me he was getting married.
It's left too, Tom. Let go of it, dude.
Baby split.
Let go of it, Tommy. Come on, man. Gosh darn it.
Well, he's disappointed because he didn't let go of this. The ball got in front of his ankle at release, and the hand being on the side is going to make that ball go left. So I think he was a little bit surprised in that it actually hit the pocket, and then he gets the bad break, leaving the 4-9.
Top conversion. He'll miss them both. Let's take a look at our Lucas Oil shot of the day. We saw that great pickup earlier in the match.
Yeah, it came in the second frame. Tom left a 3, 6, 7, 10, and a little love tap from the pit.
That might be a little better. Wow.
Not better enough, unfortunately.
Wow.
Trying to find his look. He just can't.
Well, he liked this one, and again, it just breaks loose, and that could have been a 4-10 split. The problem on this pattern, though, is that you would think, okay, well, just give it a little more room to the right, and as soon as you do that, it never hooks.
There's the 4. 7 regional titles. And his major championship, the Masters, where he beat Jack Jurek 254-219 over Mika, and then Jurek in the final. We're underway in our first match.
Every time I missed right during practice, it never made it back. So I'm trying not to airman it.
I got you.
Thinking about maybe going to that pin-up one and, you know, it'll push through there and I think it'll still come off the spot. But I'm going to go try to make a good shot with this one before I make a change. Keep bowling great, Danny.
Some great interaction and good sportsmanship as well from Tom Hess. Speaking with Coach Chuck Gardner.
And just going over with Chuck what adjustment he needs to make. He doesn't feel comfortable in throwing the ball to the right, so he's trying to look for something that'll maybe get through the front a little bit cleaner and hold its line a little bit longer. Right now, Dan McClellan's playing him pretty conservatively, going nice and straight up second arrow. Huge break, no 2-8-10, just a 2-pin, and again, that's managing this extremely difficult oil pattern. I'm going to say this a lot throughout this telecast. Anytime you miss the pocket and you get 9, that's a really good thing. The margin for error on this oil pattern is minute.
There's the 2, there's the mark.
Let me give you an example, Dave. Imagine putting 3/4 out on the lane, right at, say, the arrows. If you hit 2 out of 3 of the quarters, you have a chance of getting the ball to the pocket only if you throw it really good with the right amount of speed and rotation. The other quarter, you're not going to hit the pocket. So that's how big your margin for error is.
Great illustration, amazing. 10-pin stands here for Dan.
And then the last piece of the puzzle is trying to figure out, when you do hit the pocket, how to knock all 10 down. Now Dan does have some breathing room because he has a 24-pin lead when he picks this up. And this is not a pattern that's conducive to making up a lot of ground.
Come on now. Make a good shot. You haven't made a good shot yet. Step up and make one good one. Come on. Something to build off of. That's not it.
Didn't like it out of his hand.
Gosh. Let it
Three-pin
go.
stands.
Come on.
Well, and I know this syndrome all too well. Tom is afraid to get it to go to the right because there's just not enough friction to throw it into, and that's going to cause you to turn early and pull the ball 9 times out of 10. He's going to make a ball change now.
Some other names involved, finalists by round throughout this event here. Jason Belmonte is the top seed. Chris Barnes right behind him, of course. Chris Loeschader looking for back-to-back titles. That's how they got to this point. 5 seed step ladder bracket. Here's a ball change for Tom. Needs to make a quick adjustment. 25-pin deficit.
There's a better shot.
Better shot.
A better shot.
Really good result.
Come on. Let's go.
Hey, no surprise to see Chris Barnes and Jason Belmonte's name on that list. Chris Barnes, a former U.S. Open winner. Jason Belmonte, a former runner-up at the U.S. Open. Runner-up to none other than PDW, Pete Weber.
8th frame. Works on a spare. Dan McClellan.
Look out.
Way off.
1-2-4-8.
1-2-4-8 remaining. Only a 6-pin count. Changes things dramatically.
Looked like he just got fast, but this is going to be about 2 boards right of target, and 2 boards right equals whiffing the head pin.
He couldn't even look. Not an easy pickup. Does complete the spare. That'll help.
It's an easy pickup if you have extremely good direction because you're going to take your spare ball and throw it straight at that. If you do not, then yes, very difficult. You can miss that spare a lot of different ways. Dan McClellan has not struck since the 3rd frame.
Ten stands.
Well, he's throwing a ball that gets him to the pocket, but it only gets 9. And he's waiting around for Tom Hess. Tom Hess just struck in the 8th frame, and that's the last thing you want to do to any opponent, especially an opponent that's won a major championship before.
Has a spare, up 20 pins, but Tom Hess working on a strike. Foundation frame's got a good chance here.
Tom kept going high. Going through the nose, can't get the ball far enough to the right. When he does, it just overhooks. He makes a ball change, makes a better shot. Ball holds its line much better on that left lane. Now can he put 2 shots back to back together?
He cannot. 1, 2, 4, 10.
Nice giveaway. Oh, well. Bad.
Whiffs the head pin, goes to the washout. Needs to get the ball over into this area here, throw the 10, or the head pin over into the 10.
That won't
I
happen.
said there'd be days like this. Thank you, everybody.
Well, that'll all but do it for Tom Hess. Dan McClellan just needs some count in the 10th frame, even if Tom strikes out.
Wow.
1, 2, 4, 10.
And see,
again.
that's what I was talking about before when he was going high. He felt like he couldn't get the ball to go to the right at all because it would whiff the head, and he goes to the ball that's a little bit cleaner, and it doesn't hook at all if he misses an inch to the right.
Nice conversion.
Another irrelevant spare.
You got to admire the sense of humor at this point.
Oh, yeah.
He told us a great story yesterday about when he won the Masters in Reno championship match. You probably called it against Jack Jurek. Needed 9 just to keep it on the lane and win it. He was so nervous. Jack came out. Close to the foul line. He said, "Don't worry, you can do this." Which he did. Won a major. He said, "I'll never forget that sportsmanship."
The win.
But not his day today. From Urbandale, Iowa, Tom Hess, the 5 seed, is finished. Dan McClellan from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, will continue to try to climb the ladder. One-time PBA Tour winner Chris Loshader is next for Dan.